We need strong partnerships who really cross the barriers between education, welfare, employment. I think it's very, very important that we have a complete integrated trajectories. I think the culture of organizations, big organizations like the Public Employment Service, well, they aren't exactly up to the new style of coaching people who are long-term unemployed. Those coaches should be not at their desk, they should be in the streets, they should be talking with people, they should be visiting them. And that's still something that isn't realized, at least in Flanders.
Historically, governments have viewed their procurement activities as quite distinct from their policy activities, and the push towards social procurement requires new thinking about procurement as a strategic activity. Making better use of the purchasing power of governments in particular, but also across all sectors, to diversify supply chains in order to diversify business opportunities and therefore to create new employment opportunities for people. So that's about using the public dollar in particular as many times as we can to create new opportunities through the social economy, through the private sector, to create jobs. So that's a shift away from, or as well as, grants and social programs towards using the operational activities of government in terms of purchasing and contracts to create new employment opportunities.
Very useful to have a productive activity in a sense that it gives you self-confidence in your professional skills. It can also help you to develop new skills and socialize within your work teams. These initiatives are really, I think, a pertinent tool to target this kind of vulnerable groups.
One of the things we have to look at in terms of innovative delivery mechanisms is thinking about decentralization and flexibility. We can't have programs that are decided at the national level and think that they're going to be always applicable at the regional level or at the very local level. So I think there needs to be some decentralization. There also needs to be some flexibility in applying programs.
I'd like to see a sort of Kickstarter where we finance people who are motivated to do something rather than using public money to push a square peg into a round hole.
It's very, very important that there are really concrete engagements of the social partners, employers but also trade unions. In the case in Belgium, they have a lot of influence on the shop floor, and I think it's really important that also trade union organizations take very concrete engagements.
I think we should focus more on a long-term strategy to reach groups and to join them in society. So you can also see long-term effects within society, and that can cost maybe a lot of money now, but I think in the long run, maybe in 20 to 30 years, it will pay itself back.
I'm a big fan of using micro-projects. You can fund a large number of initiatives, some of them very experimental and very close to hard-to-reach communities. My argument would be we need to innovate, we need to test, and then we need to scale up.
I think there are three important barriers to setting up innovative programs. One of them is the lack of funding. I think that a lot of the innovative programs that are set up for the long-term unemployed in Canada and the United States are very small programs, and they run on very small budgets. And I think that it would be important, if we want these programs to reach a larger number of people, that they have access to greater funding. Another of the problems is the rigidities that are linked to national policies for unemployment insurance or national policies for social assistance that don't allow for the flexibility that's needed for innovation. And finally, the third barrier is maybe a lack of political will in the current economic crisis, where governments would be more interested in trying to get those who have just lost their jobs back into the workforce, and they may have a tendency to invest a little bit less in the longer-term unemployed.
Organizations could be tempted to select their public to fulfill with the administration requirements, and it would be totally in the opposite of their objective, which is to target the most vulnerable groups.
There shouldn't be clients, there should be also people who have something to say about what their aims are, how they want to reach them. So they have to be partners when inventing or implementing those trajectories.
The crucial thing is that we should understand that what we have now doesn't work, and there's therefore a huge interest to do something better, something with new techniques, and something which has a higher chance of working than some of the old systems that we've been using for years.